another important aspect of this is the underlying labour market dynamics, which if you look at like the rest of the region, over the course of the last few years, there has been a bit of an increase in the labour share as a percentage of GDP. In Taiwan, that's only just starting to happen. So this is another aspect, I think, of the importance of underlying changes in the labour market, that in Taiwan, it does seem like labour is now beginning to get a larger share of the economy than it has in the past, which is one of the reasons why the labour market is tighter. And it's also one of the reasons why wage inflation and inflation in Taiwan in general is higher than it has been in the past. So what does this mean? Like, what's the implications of all of this in thinking about like the economies and thinking about markets in these different economies? So I think the most important thing is when we look at Korea, some of the inflation numbers do actually remain quite robust in Korea, particularly private sector services inflation hasn't come down as much as I might have expected. But I don't think there's a good labour market reason for that. It doesn't look like the labour market is particularly tight in Korea. Given how weak the cycle is, it's very easy to see the labour market actually slipping even further over the course of the next year or so. And as a result, it looks likely that wage growth will come down further, and therefore we should expect to see inflation coming down further as well. So that's the most likely outcome in Korea. In Japan, because Japan is so much more advanced in the aging process, as a result, as much as the participation rate has been increasing, it's difficult to see the participation rate increasing much more quickly than it has from here, just because it is now so high. At the same time, the demographics, because they're so much more advanced, the fall in the population is happening more quickly now in Japan. So the significance of both of those things is that the labour market should be much structurally tighter than it has been in any time in the course of the last 30 years or so.